Yes.
Hello and welcome. Oh, God.
We're off to a great start.
Seriously.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Quit Acting Stupid. I'm your host, Jamie Paredes, and joining me as always are my brothers, Bob Paredes and Rudy. Say hello.
Hello.
And we got to begin every broadcast by mentioning our sponsor, Chef Vince Paredes, over there at the farmhouse, 3rd and Delaware in the River Market, the historic River Market. So make sure you go and see him wherever that is pointing. There you go. There you go. So always proud of our cousin. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Farm Table Fresh.
Hey.
I really got to get me one of those mimosa towers. But yeah, so presented by the farmhouse. Don't forget to go and like and subscribe on all of our socials. We're on X, we're on Insta, we're on Facebook.
We on X?
We're on X. We are.
And it's Twitter.
And I just started a TikTok today.
Boom.
Ooh.
We are now.
Dance moves?
I know I can. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Can you?
Yeah, I can't dance. I got 2 left feet.
Yeah. So we are on TikTok now as well.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce our? We're excited to get started with our guest. We've got a guest.
It's another episode with the guest.
Scroll already does it.
Does
And
it?
we've been promoting it.
And
Go
the
ahead,
scroll
go.
kind of stepped on our toes. But anyways, we want to welcome on Northeast kid, Kansas City kid, making it big in the Big Apple. Actually, this is going to be our second. We've had 2 guests on, and both are chefs. We might as well turn this into like a food podcast. Like,
Clearly, we like to eat.
yeah, we obviously love our food. So everybody, please welcome Anthony Spino.
Hey, all right. Anthony, how you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on, guys.
What you say, Road?
Absolutely.
Hey,
I was wondering when the
I feel like
first
I'm
road was going to come.
outnumbered.
yeah, a little bit. So, how you been, bud?
Yeah, been great. All's well. Weather out here is not as nice as you guys have in Kansas City. I've talked to my parents, my brother. I heard you guys been having some 7 degrees weather.
Yeah, it was
Until
70. Yeah, it was 76 this morning, and I went out for dinner tonight, and it's like down in the 30s. Like, it's freezing.
Back to that. That's how it has been here. It hasn't really changed. So
Yeah. Well, it's good to see you. Thank you for giving us your time. Can't say I laugh. I was telling my brothers when I texted you to see if you'd be interested in doing this. You said you'd be honored, and I said, "Does he know what kind of podcast? Like honored? Like what?" And then later on, you said too that because of the time difference, you're a little bit ahead of us, and so we usually get started on this late. And you're like, well, I'll be in town in April, and so if you guys will have me back, I'm like, dude, well, anytime you want to be on or have anything to say, give us a call. You can be on. Trust me.
nice.
He's an OG
Well, yeah.
from back in the day.
Yeah, thank you very much, man. Thank you.
Yeah. It's my pleasure. I love your guys' podcasts, and you guys know Rudy and I grew up together. Always been great friends, and your dad and mom helped raise me. Your dad being the coach, and your mom being one of the sweetest ladies. So, and you guys were right across the street. I'm sure you guys know from my great grandma growing up. Your childhood house.
Yeah, she was right up the street from us on, was it Denver or like Sunrise Drive or?
Oh my gosh.
It was kind of closer to the bowling alley, I think. I'm not sure what
Okay.
the corner was right there, but it was only a couple blocks away from you guys.
Yeah, I think it was literally like right at the top of our street.
That's right.
I don't know if that was right, and I don't know what the hell street it was, but yeah, I remember there were a couple times we drive by because you guys would go over there occasionally on Sundays,
That's
and
right.
I'd catch a glimpse of you guys over there, and I'd tell my mom, "Hey, can I go up to Anthony's grandma's house?" And she's like, "No, they're visiting with family. Leave them alone." Like, all right, I got
We can't gloss by the fact that he just called our mom a sweet lady. Like, is that a first, I think?
No. That's actually pretty common. I've heard a lot of people we grew up with refer to mom as, "Oh, your mother was so sweet."
right. I hear that a lot as well, and I'm like,
I think she was just up there all the time at the school. She was there for all the parties. She was a den mother too at one point.
She was the athletic director at the gym, so she'd get all the food, all the stuff. There. She was den mother. She was room mother a lot. But you guys didn't see when she would punch me. Like she would punch me in the arm.
Or in church, twisting of the skin.
Oh yeah, the pinch under the armpit.
Sit your GD ass down.
Sit your goddamn ass down. Just right through the. She would say.
That's the sweet lady he was talking about.
Yeah. So
Rudy actually told me a story a couple days ago when we were talking that I almost, because of your mom, I almost went to my first and only All-Star game at 3-2, but because of Rudy, I didn't. But your mom changed that.
Right. So
let me hear that. No, let Anthony tell this story. I got to hear.
Well, no, I didn't know about it. Rudy told me about it a couple of days ago.
I just told him about it. Yeah, I just told him about it. Basically, what happened was, so I'm younger than everybody in my class. So when all the kids moved up to play for, did you guys have a year with Salinas or were you guys with Blackman Funeral Home? Where your first year?
I think I played with Anthony one year, didn't I?
What 3-2? That was midget B. What was your first midget C team? Did you start off on Blackman? Or was it Salinas? Yeah, you, Anthony.
Salinas with the white jeans.
Okay.
White jeans. The white jeans. Yes.
Okay, so my first year, Salinas must have folded. And that's when we went over to Blackman. Yeah, RIP Salinas Tree and Lawn Service. So it was my first year with Blackman, but it was your second year at that level. And we were an awesome team. We got like 7 All-Stars, I think, on that team. And we were doing the counting, and they hadn't announced who the All-Stars were, and I was like, ooh, it's going to be close because I'm counting in my head who all could go. And I got picked to go to the All-Star game, and Anthony did not. And Mom was very adamant that it wasn't fair. Anthony has played for 2 years, and that she thought I should step down and let him have the All-Star nod.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't entertain that for a second. It was going to take that 3-2 All-Star patch and don it on my sleeve forever. But she
could have went.
She didn't think it was fair. She didn't think it was fair that Anthony deserved it. He's been there longer, and
I agree.
One All-Star.
Yeah, you were never.
Oh, that would have been your only one.
That would have been it.
Oh, Rudy, you a-hole.
We could have gotten a shortstop from the New York Yankees if it weren't for you. But because of you,
that's right. Who knows where I would have went?
I think we're skipping over the bad guy here. Was Ed Braille, I believe. I had nothing to do with it. So,
but it was just reinforcing your mom's sweetness. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Talking about sweet moms, though. Jesus. Teresa Spino and Butch Spino, can we give them a round of applause? Some of the best parents in the city, man. I miss them. I saw your mom at the recent little gathering we had at your place. So you are now a chef. Well, you've been a chef for a while, but when did the vegan thing happen? Because you didn't start off as a vegan chef.
Yeah. So you guys know I was in Kansas City running my family's restaurant, and
Anthony's restaurant down on Grant. Anthony's Restaurant and Lounge.
Yeah, throughout the years, I always tried to feed my guests and myself the healthiest ingredients, and it led me to grilled chicken and grilled shrimp and lots of fish, and then one day I decided to eat red meat once a week and see where that would take me. And eating red meat once a week was, that was really tough. But I figured out how to do it, and I continued on that path. And it took me, taking out pork, and then sooner or later taking out chicken, and then fish, and the whole deal. But when it finally happened, I was here in New York. I think it was like 2014, possibly. And I figured the restaurant business, there was no reason for me to stay in the restaurant business because all the food that tastes good, and the whole reason I was in the business was now something I wasn't interested in. But I I found a couple great restaurants here in New York, and my in-laws live in California. I found a really great restaurant in California, and they were serving plant-based and vegan food, and it felt like a normal restaurant. And it didn't say vegan, it didn't say plant-based. The customers, the servers, the bartender, you would never know that you were in that kind of restaurant. So that's when I decided I wanted to go and start working in the back of the house, because most of my time in Kansas City I spent managing, or busboying, waiting tables, bartending, and then managing on the front of the house. And then I decided to go in the back of the house and start all over again. So I started here in New York as a line cook, and started at the bottom and worked my way up, trying to figure out how these chefs and cooks were making food taste good without the traditional ingredients of, egg, milk, cheese, and butter, the ingredients that makes everything taste so good. So here I am.
I didn't think food could be made without butter.
I didn't either. Right?
Yeah. So what were you saying, Jamie?
No, I was just saying he was rattling off his responsibilities, busboy and all that stuff, and I mentioned sponsoring baseball teams. What is that?
Shout out to Anthony's Restaurant Royals.
Yeah, and by the way, our team photo was hanging in there for my entire
years, right?
Where's it now? Why was it taken down? Do I need to talk with Vito?
We need to find it. I think it's Vito's fault.
I'm gonna have to talk with Vito, because I know it wouldn't be Butch. Mr. Spino would have left that on there.
I think we had white jeans with Anthony's Royals too. What is
white jeans was the thing back then for baseball teams that couldn't afford, or maybe not couldn't afford, but I mean, it was a lot easier than the baseball pants, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think when you slid in them, you didn't rip them immediately. So
no.
Tough skins.
Tough skins. Hey, so with the vegan thing, it was mainly about being healthy to start, right? It didn't really have to do with animals or animal rights or anything like that. It was just healthier way to live.
So then the question becomes, did you feel better? Did you feel healthier when you started removing the meat from your diet?
Yeah, that was the thing. Each time I removed something, I continued to feel good, if not a little bit better, and I kept finding other foods to substitute for, the traditional American diet. And I don't. It's really because of my wife, but here in New York they have the New York Marathon each year, and when I first moved here, we live right off of First Avenue, and so like the 15th mile comes right around our house, and each year I was like, one day I'd like to run in that. Yeah, one day I'd like to run that. And then during COVID, my wife took up running, and she started to really like it. And then she signed us up for a half marathon and another half marathon. Before you know it, she signed us up for the marathon. And I believe that the reason I was able to do the marathon is because of the food I am eating now and the lifestyle I live. So
Now, now, did you said to get healthy? Did you have a health scare before that you're like, hey, I need to get healthy? Because I don't think you've ever been an overweight guy. So
no, I was surrounded by food, and so it was a lot of grilled chicken and a lot of broccoli, even a lot of steaks. I had that, access to all this good food. Why not try to put the best food in me? That's just kind of, I guess, the benefit of growing up in the restaurant business, and so I kind of ran with it.
So I have to mention, you probably don't know this, but a couple of years ago, no, it's been more than that, probably about 4 years ago, I pretty much went a full year without eating meat. I was basically trying to become a vegan. I was trying to eliminate all of that. But here's the thing. I think a lot, it's always a catch. It's a lot easier to do. Yeah, almost a year. I think it was like a full year, actually.
I remember when you were trying to do it, but I remember when you were trying to do it, and I think we all did it. But go ahead.
It's a lot easier to do when you're a chef and you can make your own food, because what I did was I am naturally a lazy person. So I tried to, if it looked like it had meat in it, or if it had meat in it, I didn't eat it. So what I ended up doing was just finding a lot of replacements that had a lot of sodium. It just, as long as it didn't have meat in it, I felt like I was fine. But I ended up eating a lot of processed stuff, a lot of canned stuff. And so at the end of the day, I ended up putting on weight. And I just remember one day I was just looking down at my lunch, and it was just lettuce. I mean, it was just lettuce in a bowl. And I'm like, I think I'm done with this. I don't think I can do this anymore. Now, again, I think it's probably a lot easier if you can prepare your own food and know how to, substitute ingredients for, for the meat.
Yeah, I mean, you're right in so many different parts there. I mean, one, it's really hard to order food that's vegan or plant-based, that's healthy. And two, you'd have to meal prep and make it yourself. And then three, I think you kind of said by eating just lettuce, we really don't know what to eat when you take out all those ingredients. We were never taught. We were taught the food pyramid, and that was my big issue. Like, once I took out all those foods and the food pyramid didn't serve me, I was
What's
lost.
left? Yeah.
What's left, right?
So where on the food pyramid does expired milk fit? Because my mother,
You got to debate. You got to settle a debate for us.
right above you, has an issue with throwing out anything. Not just expired milk. We're talking expired meat and cheeses. Like, he struggles with that.
I have an iron stomach.
What do you call the stomach noise that you guys talked about?
The bubble gut?
You don't have you'll have no bubble gut.
The chorro.
Now, chorro is something else, which, we got admonished by our mother. She doesn't want us talking about all that.
Yeah, she stopped listening because we were being nasty, but that's chorro.
I want to know what the
diarrhea. It's diarrhea.
There's got to be an Italian version, right?
Yeah.
How do you say diarrhea in Italian?
My wife's gonna kill me. Yeah, it'll come to me before the night.
Come on.
Hey, man.
On the tip of my
That's
tongue.
all right. Nobody's listening to us.
Yeah. Just
take
keep
my
looking.
time.
Hey, just look. The answer's up there somewhere.
Just look up in the sky.
You should have all the time
so
in the world.
I basically have an iron stomach is the thing, and so at the store it's cheaper to buy the full gallon. Well, there's only 4 of us here. 2 of us are under the age of 7 or 7 and below, so it's basically left on me to drink the milk. And here it hits the expiration date, and we're about still half full. And so I'm like, all right, so I'm testing. I think I went a good week and a half after. What's that? Pour it out?
Yeah.
No.
I just buy half gallons. Half gallons is what it's at.
It's more expensive. Yeah. So yeah.
Now if you're dumping half of it, I don't know.
Or giving yourself chorro.
That's the thing.
You should be.
Yeah.
So, Ant, what are you doing now up in? You're working with the school districts up in New York. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm working with an organization called Wellness in the Schools. We partnered with the New York Public Schools, which is 1,200 public schools. It's the second largest government-funded food organization after the U.S. Army. So tagging up with them and the mayor's office, the mayor's Eric Adams here. And he was I'll try not to go too far off, but he was a police officer here in New York, and then he was a police chief. Then he became the Brooklyn Borough president. And I think he was around the age 50 or so, and he started to lose his eyesight a little bit. He went to a few different doctors here in New York, and they told him that he had diabetes, the beginning of diabetes, and that he would sooner or later have to give away his driver's license, and just kind of things were just going to kind of get worse for him. So he went down a rabbit hole and to try to find out how to maybe reverse diabetes. And he found these doctors that talked about eating a whole food plant-based diet. And he ended up reversing his diabetes. He got his mom to reverse her diabetes, and he just really started being an active. I hope you can cut this. He started to promote eating whole food plant-based, and he's brought it to our hospitals. Now he's bringing it to our schools. He's getting a lot of fight, though, from a lot of the the parents, but he's trying to bring healthier food to the children. Not necessarily plant-based food, but trying to bring more scratch-made food and less processed food because I don't know how it is in Kansas City, but a lot of our food here in the schools is like take it out of the freezer and put it in the oven and serve it to the kids. So we're doing a lot more scratch-made, healthier dishes, plant-forward dishes. So, yeah.
So you talk about some of the pushback he's getting. What sort of pushback is he getting from? Is it from parents?
Well, we started a thing here on Fridays. Yeah, it's from parents and children too. Vegan, plant-based. I can't think the terms, but Friday we do vegan. Monday I think we might do a little bit of vegetarian and vegan. But a lot of the kids at first were not happy with the food. They're not getting their hamburgers and they're not getting their pizzas, and trying to change that all at once is kind of a lot. So we're trying to just slowly change it and just kind of introduce them to new foods. It's a process. There's nothing like seeing a kid come into the kitchen on a Monday when it's pizza time. They're so happy. I mean, I remember when I was young, pizza day was a great day, but how do you get them excited about broccoli? It's not so easy.
Yeah.
Throw cheese on it. Throw cheese on it.
Put cheese on it. Yeah, and we do. You're right.
How do you think Mrs. Zero and Mr. Zero would have handled this kind of eating? You think Mrs. Zero would have adapted and gone plant-based, or Mr.
cents.
10 cents? You're my hero. That's all I remember, Mr. Azero.
Yeah, I used to love their food. I used to love the
burrito day. Let's go.
Man, I was just gonna say that.
So the three big ones were burrito day, hamburger day. You remember what the other third one was?
Pizza day, right?
A rectangle pizza.
Well, that's did I already say that? I meant pizza, hamburgers, burritos. Those were the top three.
Yeah, those are the top three. I like chili day because they throw in that cinnamon bun thing.
Cinnamon bun. Yeah. Ooh, cinnamon bun. Yeah.
Chili was good.
And then the first. Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say the room temperature milk. Never
room temperature milk is always good, but if it's the first Friday of the month, I'm rocking that chocolate milk for
25 cents, right?
Is it 25 cents?
I think so.
Because white milk was
about right.
10 cents, and then chocolate milk 25.
Do you guys remember lunch tickets? Little pieces
Oh man,
of paper.
Yes.
Red, yellow, blue.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm. I don't know what the statute of limitations is. Limitations. Is it a statue?
Statute.
But you remember when, God, I don't want to put him out on Front Street. Remember when Tony Vitale would put nickels or pennies in his pudding and then cover it so it would jam the food, the garbage disposal?
Yeah.
Tony, shout out.
Remember that.
Yeah, Tony, leave us a comment in the.
Oh my God, you kids were horrible.
Oh man, we had a bad class. There was actually one teacher, and I always tell this story, that was allergic to chalk. And before she came into class every day, somebody would get right over her desk. It was
Don't say somebody. That was you. Pop, pop, pop. Now, fast forward, that same teacher, our entire class had to go to summer school because that teacher was, I don't know, not good enough. I don't know. We all had to.
How you could be a teacher and allergic to chalk? That's like being a mechanic and being allergic to oil. I don't understand.
Hey man, she was a gem for sure. But
I think I have an idea who the teacher was, but we'll keep her name out.
I feel like you don't really. Maybe you do.
She was there really quick.
She was there and she was gone. Now I will say these.
Go ahead. No, I was just saying. Speaking of the cafeteria at Mom's house, we have a Holy Cross fork there still from the day that I put it in my pocket and I forgot to take it out, and it made its way home and just never went back to school. So there is a Holy Cross special fork at Mom's house.
Wow.
I don't think I've seen that fork.
Yeah, I can check it out.
You'll have to show it to me next
time. I put it in my pants. What's that? that a fork in
You'll
your
have-
pants or? Yeah, never mind.
I guess you had an itch. Well, I was just going to say these stories that we're telling kind of, and I don't know if I've talked to you about this, but I work now with Clark Bussey. And we were on break one day and he was talking to his mom. So he's talking to Miss Bussey. And I asked him, I'm like, are you on the phone with your mom? Ask her why she never taught us. Because if I remember correctly, and I was never in any of the split classes, never in any of the smart classes, but I remember like she taught my brothers, which I thought she taught you, Jamie, but you said no. I know she taught Bobby. And so as we got up to where it was our turn to have Miss Bussey, she like stopped and started teaching like little kids. And I said, like, what's the deal? Like, why didn't she ever get to teach us? And he told me that she knew if there were a group of kids coming up that she didn't really want to deal with, she had enough seniority to just decide, nah, I'll go down to the younger classes. She'll just skip over it.
It was a smart move.
It actually really was, now that I think about it. But
Well, I mean, you're just talking about putting coins in the garbage disposal. Yeah, I can see why Miss Bussey might not want to have your class.
yeah, I start getting nervous.
And the erasers over the desk. Yes, the chalk.
I
You
started,
blame me for that.
no, it wasn't. It was. That seems like enough. I'm not going to throw Tony under the bus again, but it seems like it might be. I don't know.
You mean these guys here?
Oh, boy.
These guys? These
Look
freaking
at
guys.
Like a bunch of Joe
Look at the
Pesci.
innocent faces. What innocent faces?
Scroll to one of those. Okay, scroll to the next one. There's one. Jamie, what are you looking at?
I was going to say, I don't know what you're looking at these days, Jamie, but
I had them all queued up. Here we go.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was Miss Crutcher's class.
Miss Crutch.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wait,
So
that's
there's
you,
me.
Rudy?
Anthony up front. That's me in the background in the
Oh,
orange,
my
Yeah, Julie
Rock.
Pena.
rocking the orange. That must have been a jeans day where we had to pay 50 cents or something.
is that Julie Pena behind Rudy or behind Anthony?
Julie Pena's behind me.
Yeah, I can't
Lisa
see that.
Bax.
That's Lisa.
Lisa Bax is
Lisa.
behind me. Yeah.
Too cool
But-
for school, man. Look at you, Rudy.
What's that?
I said too school for school.
Too school for a cool. There's the greatest starting five in Holy Cross history. Right there.
Trouble.
Look at those guns. Sun's out, guns out. Look at that.
Always look at my sleeves rolled. I learned that from my freaking brothers. That's the only explanation.
That was the thing in the 80s, the tight roll.
Oh
But
yeah,
A little
School
side
pants and
note. My daughter now goes to school with Pete's nephew. So, hey, here we go. Here we go.
there we
Hey.
go.
Blacksman.
um,
The almost
The Black
all-star
Men.
game.
yeah,
And
that's
Anthony, Rudy tells me that you asked about who we were talking about last week in
Oh, yeah.
you know, that faked injuries.
Yeah,
That person is in this picture.
that's
But,
right.
well,
But no one will tell me. That's all right. I don't want to know.
we can give it to you off air. You know, special guest privileges. But
he's
yeah,
in
I
the
think
picture.
there's Rudy
And
right
again-
there. I think.
That's
no.
me. No, that's me.
No,
That's
that's too
Rudy.
big to be you.
No, that's
Nope.
me, dude.
There's
I was big
Anthony.
than Anthony. At that age, I was taller than Anthony. And that's not Anthony in the middle. Anthony is, I don't know. Too bad we
Isn't
can't.
Anthony right there?
I was going to say, yeah, we probably
Yeah,
need to
that's
blow
me.
these pictures up.
That's me. You got it. I zoomed mine.
Yeah, I
in.
think that's Anthony right there.
Yeah, I was taller than Anthony for a minute. Go
Yeah, that was
figure.
a championship team. We won.
Oh,
the
yeah.
city
Championship.
champ-
This is the picture. Now, is there any way we can get this bigger?
And see, that's Miss
Explain this
Crutcher
one to
right
me.
there. She's the one that did that.
Say that again.
That's Miss Crutcher right there. She's the one that taped me to that desk.
Right. So that's what I wanted to say. Like, I worry, like, maybe we shouldn't be talking about this because could you imagine if a teacher taped a kid to a desk these days? Like, how that would go over?
Well, she was one of
Bloody
my
murder.
favorite teachers, so it was all good.
She was what?
I said she was one of my favorite teachers. Her and Miss Morgan, I think.
I think
Morgan.
Yes,
Miss Morgan might be a listener, actually.
She's still
it's
teaching.
possible. It's
Really?
Yeah.
She's still
Yeah.
teaching. Yeah.
Yeah. But no,
Yeah.
that time she taped you to the desk, I thought, man, I couldn't imagine.
I was.
If my daughter came home and said the teacher taped her to the desk,
I see these kids nowadays. I work in a cafeteria every day, and I see the kids, and I just think that I was probably worse than most of the kids. I was.
Oh yeah.
I was a brat, man.
We were terrible. We absolutely were terrible.
Well, clearly, if Miss Bussy doesn't want to teach you guys, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
How about
All
this
right.
one here?
The CNS Royals, Casio and some Jamaica, I think.
Wow.
I think that's
No,
what it said
this
on
is
here.
the Northeast Optimist Royals right here. There's
Okay.
me.
Yeah.
We got Rudy there, and Anthony is
Anthony's right
somewhere
next to you.
here. Oh, that's
Anthony.
Anthony. Yeah, that's Anthony right there.
Yeah. Man, I didn't even recognize myself.
So all three of us are right there in a little tripod.
Wow.
Oh, you can't forget about Bobby Paredes Sr.
That's right.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
He's there, wearing that hat on top of that afro. Yeah,
70s
Great
porn
coach.
star.
we got a little.
Yeah, so,
I saw some Greg Graff and some
Joey
Steve-
Spano.
Joey Spano. That was a.
I got one more. Anthony, that I wanted to see if you might recognize. Do you recognize this kid right here?
Uh-oh.
Well, let's start it over here.
He's only been talking about this
Do
for the
you
last
remember this game?
4 days, Anthony.
Wow. Look at that.
That
It's
would be-
intimidating.
That would be. Who's that number one right there?
Those pants are too big.
Number one. Number one in your
Wow, look
program.
at
Number one
that.
in your heart.
That is fantastic.
I think that bat is
This
bigger
is,
than you.
this is-
Oh, that was definitely a ball.
Ball.
Hold on, I got a question. What in the hell were you swinging at here?
What are you wiggling the butt?
I know you're wiggling here for the. That's
Did I
for the
never
ladies.
swing?
That was for the ladies. Yeah, you got a horrific swing coming up here in a second.
I think it got.
Oh,
I think
this-
it got
this-
cut to make this thing smaller.
This is
Did you got it even more? Because I left it in. There. No.
Oh
Did I
no,
hit it?
piled it up. Yeah.
There you go.
This
Good
is
eye, good
terrible.
eye.
You got a
Quality.
piece.
This is terrible quality, man.
This is awesome. Wow.
Yeah. This is on
I like it.
VHS and then recorded for my cell phone. Oh,
Ooh.
Anthony.
So
That's
ever
awesome.
since
Come on, you guys
we
can-
heard that you were going to
Are
be a
you sure I
guest,
was
he had-
number one?
and now he's questioning whether that was him.
Hey,
No, that's Pete. That's Pete Cerrone. Get ready to come up to bat.
that is
Pete Cerrone wants some. He's next.
wow. I mean, you
Jimmy's
were
been
older than
talking
I.
about-
You were probably throwing a lot faster than we throw.
Yes.
I mean, it was probably intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
This is,
lucky.
yeah.
I'll take the ball, right? If I would have got another shot up,
I-
show the next time. I
That-
wanna
that-
get
Yeah.
He
He
left that
selectively edited it. Yeah.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, I peaked at that point. At age of 14, I peaked. And so I got this thing playing, and I'm recording it on my phone. So I'm like, I got to show this. And my son Quentin's watching this. He's like, because I was like, hey, you want to see your dad pitching? And I was like, yeah, I had 12 strikeouts that day. And he's watching it, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna leave out the fact that I struck out myself 3 times. So good old John Mesh fanned me 3 times. That wasn't my
Oh,
my
when you were at the
proudest
plate?
day.
Yeah.
John Mesh, God rest his soul, man. He struck you out.
R.I.P.
That's right.
Yes.
Poor God.
Those are good times. 3 and 2 ball.
Yes.
So I have to talk about just real briefly. Growing up in a neighborhood like Northeast, where it was all Italians and Mexicans, and it seemed like everybody was all about the same height. I don't know, 5'10", 5'11", seemed like the tallest person. But I just remember your dad cut such an intimidating figure because he was so tall. I think he was clearly the tallest person I had ever seen in my life up to that point. How and of course I'm a kid, so I'm little. How tall is your dad?
No, he's very tall. He's 6. I think he's around. I could miss 6'2", 6'3". I mean, my brother. Yeah, my brother now is as tall as him, if not taller. But
Really,
he's a
really.
Imagine
So then-
playing him in the father-son basketball game as a 5th grader.
Yeah, we were all climbing on him, and he was not only tall, but he was kind of broad shoulders a bit. He's pretty intimidating. Yeah.
So Vito's taller than him now?
Yeah, Vito's I think 6'2" ish. Yeah, I end up being the shortest of the family.
I swear.
Well, and that's what always blew me away, because I'm like, man, Anthony, you were always so short growing up, and I'm like, man, how do you have a dad that tall and be so short? And it just blew me away.
I was the shortest one in our 8th grade class, and then by I think my junior year, I finally grew. I don't know what was going on. It took forever.
Just late growth spurt, I guess.
I'm like, when we just brought you on, when you joined us here tonight, I was like, man, you look identical to your dad. I mean, I don't think I had seen you or talked to you like in person through pictures and stuff, of course, but
Right.
since you hit puberty, so I didn't even recognize your voice. I mean, I knew what little 12-year-old Anthony sounds like, but this is
the one you struck out.
So you want to pitch to me now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's do that bat over again. Yeah,
that'll be
like I said, I peaked that day. That's
Oh, that's too much. I struck out all the time.
Roca vending, and then you mentioned you played for Toltec as well, correct?
Yeah, Toltec, and I remember the Brownies when you were talking about them the other day.
Brownies, that was my team.
You
I
guys
don't remember
intimidating.
Toltec. Yeah. Who's the Toltec?
Well, I think it was like around for 1 year.
Yeah, I think that was a Northeast team for a
Construction.
minute. Did Joe Crutcher have you guys? Were you guys under the tutelage of Joe Crutcher?
Toltec?
Yeah.
No, I think it was some construction company from up south. I don't know how we end up teaming.
But who's the head coach at Toltec? Who's the manager?
This guy that I'm sure if someone's listening, somebody from outside. We practiced on like 63rd and Myers or Troost or something. Which was far.
Really?
It might have been like Rockers guys or St. Thomas Aquinas or something, just from out south, somewhere like that area.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't put us out there and say if somebody's listening, because nobody's listening. So don't.
Yeah, you give us too much credit there.
Yeah.
Well, you said earlier if Tony Vitale was listening, he would know.
Yeah. And Tony has told me that he's listened. He said he subscribed, so I'm gonna take him for his word. But yeah.
Well,
hey, let me ask.
That's funny. I was just gonna say it's funny that you said that because we didn't believe. I got a child abduction thing on my phone. Sorry.
My wrist is vibrating. My phone's going off.
Amber alert or something.
Nobody's being abducted in Kansas.
Yeah. No. Oh shit! Now I forgot what I was saying.
Let's help.
He's an old man.
When Rudy said that you were a listener, and I remember Bobby and I looking at each other like, seriously, like he's watching the show, and we're like,
he has nothing better to do than listen to us.
No, I enjoy it.
Rudy forwarded us the picture of you watching Wildcats because of the show that we did.
We referenced
Wildcats
live. My wife, I think,
God,
it was the first time my wife watched it.
So did she?
Yeah, it was a good time. I'm telling you, we're training for a half marathon right now, and I usually don't listen to anything really, but when I have a new podcast of yours to listen to, it comes along. It's great. I love it. It's reminiscent, and when you guys bring up names, it's fantastic.
So it's kind of like I'm training for a half marathon too.
Kind of. You're right there with him. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's kind of what I'm doing too. I'm just helping.
You're just not getting all the aerobic and the cardio benefits, but yeah.
We're the Mickey to your Rocky, basically.
Yeah.
The what?
Right? Yeah. We're the Mickey to his
brothers.
Rocky.
That's right. That's
Absolutely. Right. Hey, let me ask you. So when you come into town, because you come into town, often enough, I see.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I think I'm better friends with you than the jerks that are here that don't even call me Anthony. Anthony Freeze, I'm calling you out. David Castro, and talk to you guys for months. This guy lives in New York, and I'm closer to him than you guys. My question. Oh, by the way, shout out to David Castro. He's a grandpa now. So
yeah, I saw that the other day. David Castro's daughter had.
So it's not just me anymore. It's not just me anymore. David.
Both grandpas.
Congratulations, David.
Yeah, shout out to David. But my question to you though, so when you come back, what's the one thing that oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait to get to Kansas City too. Not family related, but just I can't wait to get that Z-Man at Joe's Bar.
Do this or go there or you talking food or
anything. What's your first stop when you get here?
First stop, well, it's a lot of family. It's usually mom and dad and brother. And now my brother's got 2 kids. So usually all my time's there. But my wife loves some barbecue. And so we usually smokehouse up north. We usually hit that, and then we usually spend a couple nights down the restaurant with Vito. Yeah, first thing for me, I know you said not family.
Well, I mean, we know family. I mean, we know that's your first thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, anything else that you've got to hit or got to do when you come back to town?
Especially with
So
Vito's.
no, I hit the restaurant, and man, I'm really boring when I come home. I
So
try
you
to
go to
see friends.
You go to the smokehouse on North Oak, right?
That's that's the burn ends is a favorite of the house.
Okay. So Denise eats the bird ends. What do you eat when you go
She
there?
does. Maybe a French fry. I usually have food at home.
So you go there, you watch Denise just
We
devour.
usually take it to go.
Okay. I was wondering because I'm sitting here thinking like, because my girlfriend's vegan, so I'm like, can I go to Smokehouse? Is there something for her to order on the menu?
Probably get a salad and some French fries.
Yeah.
Usually, I'm boring, man. I'm a horrible person to go out to a restaurant. I'm not fun. That's
I feel like
I eat before I go out.
don't take this the wrong way. Don't take this the wrong way. I feel like most vegans might be boring when they go to restaurants.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. But they're starting to, people are starting to, restaurants are starting to make options. I mean,
They are.
when I started on this journey years ago, there was unheard of. Myself also, I had no idea what the word meant 8-10 years ago. And, now the kids know what the word means. So it's it's a lot more common than it was.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, that's awesome.
So
I know what I was going to say. I think it's probably a lot easier to be vegan, like in New York or California, LA, somewhere a bigger city where your restaurant options are a lot more plentiful than what they would be here in Kansas City. Because I think I had to search out somebody on Facebook that was, running like a scratch kitchen or running a truck of, vegan options out of her truck. But you probably have a lot more options there in New York, I would imagine.
Yeah, there's a lot of options here in New York and in California, but that kind of answers the question that you asked, Rudy. Have a Nice Day down on the Boulevard is one of my favorite restaurants. So I usually try to talk somebody in to meet me there for some coffee and breakfast or lunch or something. They got a good spread.
I got some bad news for you, bud. They closed down.
Are you kidding me?
No, I think I'm kidding. I don't know. I'm just joking.
Actually, I haven't heard the name in a while, but
I feel like it's possible. I haven't heard them.
I haven't heard that name in a while, so I'm feeling like it has been closed down, but I don't know.
Now, Cafe Gratitude. I'm trying to say
that's the one. I'm sorry.
Cafe Gratitude.
Why did I say Have a Nice Day? That was the Have a Nice Day was
in Westport.
Cafe?
Wasn't it a bar?
Yeah. Cafe Gratitude. That's the
Have a Nice Day.
Cafe.
You know which cafe he was talking about. Don't be stupid. Quit acting stupid. You know which one he was talking about.
Yeah, Cafe Gratitude. Actually, I went in there with Kim, a few months ago, and they had some really good. I don't remember what the dessert was, but her and I split a dessert, and it was delicious, man. It really was.
You didn't split nothing. You didn't split a thing. I promise you.
You got 3/4 of it. She got 1/4 of it.
I probably ate more than her, sure, but she needed to eat. She's skin and bones. Like, yeah. So that was good.
So you became vegan before you got married. Is that right?
Oh, that's a good story. No, it was during marriage.
Okay. Because I would only do that for a chick. That would be the only I mean, to get rid of meat, I mean, it has to be some, but go ahead. Go.
No, I was going to say my wife actually to this day asked me why I didn't warn her that this was going to happen, because she probably would have thought twice about marrying me.
Wow.
So let me ask though, maybe I missed something. Is Denise vegan?
She is when she's with me. So she's probably like 90%.
Okay.
But when she's out with her friends or family, she's not going to go out of her way to, not eat what they have on the menu. Okay. So yeah, one day she was cooking breakfast. It was a Saturday morning, and she's like, yeah, we love cooking for each other, and she's like, I'm going to cook some eggs or something. I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to have any eggs today. She's like, okay. She threw out some other options. I said, yeah, I don't think I'm going to have that either. So we talking about. So I think I'm gonna try vegan. I think I'm gonna try to eat just vegan. You know, no eggs, no milk, no cheese. And I don't know, man. It was a tough time.
Little rock.
We're still together, but
Yeah.
it's tough, man. You go out to restaurants and you cook dinner for each other, and it's something that should be worn before marriage.
I can relate because I popped that on my wife as well. Okay, I'm cutting it all out. I'm gonna go vegan, and I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna try it because I think it's gonna help me feel better. And again, I'm lazy, so if I was a chef and could make my own food, it might have been a different result. But yeah, I got sort of some looks from my wife about, what? You're not gonna eat meat? I'm like, that seems extreme. She might have said dumb. I don't know, but it was, yeah, it was a lot of pressure. I mean, it was not well received. But I think I didn't exactly do it the right way. But at least I know where I fell short. That if I did it again, I'd have to invest in, the meal prep like you talked about, and making sure that that I did have fresh food as opposed to a lot of processed stuff that I ended up eating that had a lot of sodium in it.
I was in the same boat. I was eating potato chips and anything that didn't have meat. I was like, oh, I could eat this, and then, like you said, a bowl of lettuce. But there's a great doctor. His name's Dr. Greger, and he's got a thing called the Daily Dozen. So now you know what you should try to eat throughout the day, and that helps a lot because instead of taking things away, now he provides you with food you should try to eat each day. It's kind of like the food pyramid, but now it's called the Daily Dozen or what have you.
So I remember what prompted this was a Netflix documentary. It was Knives Over Forks or Forks Over Knives, one of those. And I thought, oh, this seems interesting. It seems like it's going to make me feel a lot better. And again, if I had done it the right way, probably would have. But maybe some point I might try it again.
I watched a documentary called Super Size Me, and I ate tons of McDonald's, and it only got worse after that. So
made your body.
It made me hungry, is what it did. I will say, when you came in town last time, I went to that class that you kind of put on at your restaurant, and he made me some killer pudding out of like black beans and some sticks and shit. Like I don't know what I was in there. Black beans,
dirt and sticks,
and poured some water on top of it, and boom, we had chocolate pudding.
Boom.
It was good, man. It was really good. I was, not surprised. I will say that I've tried a lot of vegan food. Well, a lot. I don't know what a lot is, but I've tried more vegan food having a girlfriend who's vegan. Like I've tried jackfruit tamales, and I've tried, the Impossible Whopper, which isn't really, it's what it is. But I've tried more. And you had one night at Anthony's when you were in town a few years ago. You had a big dinner that was all
lasagna, and
that was great. The lasagna was amazing. And I remember I left there telling Kim, like, if I could get Anthony to make me that lasagna, I can be vegan eating that lasagna. But unfortunately, you got other things on your schedule. So
you can't follow him around.
Yeah, I can't.
Well, then you even came to New York when I was running that the restaurant, and you brought the kids, and they had some pizza and seemed to like everything.
Yeah, we had the kids had pepperoni pizzas. I had a burger, all vegan. It was delicious, man. It really was. It was really good.
What'd you think of his kids?
Yeah, talk about my kids. What do you think about it?
They were great. They looked like they had them spending some money, man. They had all brand new New York Yankees jerseys. They were living it up.
Like all they needed was a Nikon camera around the neck.
Hey, I got one that you guys will really like, though. He walked out on the bill.
All right, here we go.
That absolutely sounds like him. Yes.
Here we go with this story.
Okay. Here's my. Let me tell my side.
So I tell the kids, hey, we're gonna go see my buddy. He's a chef out here in New York. We're gonna check out his restaurant. And Parker right away, hey, is it gonna be for free? I'm like, I don't know. I've got the money if it's not, but he didn't say it was free. I don't think it's free, but let's go. We gotta, let's go check it out. So we go, and we're eating our food. Anthony's, he's, spinning tails and giving us a tour of the whole place. And the waiter, he kept coming out, checking on us, seeing if everything was good, and we were good. So then the whole family went and toured the whole restaurant. And when we came back, all of our stuff was gone. All of our plates, everything was gone. And the waiter said, hey guys, thanks for coming in. Have a great night. No one ever brought me a bill, like ever. And we had been there, like we had finished eating like an hour ago. Like we were way done eating, and we were all just sitting around talking. And in the back of my mind, I did think, well, maybe Anthony's going to comp this on me, maybe it's, so that was in the back of my mind. I will say that. But when the waiter tells you, hey guys, thanks for coming in, have a great night, and no one's brought me a bill, and Parker looks at me like, is this free? Is it free? And I was like, I don't know, but I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't have been my responsibility to be like, excuse me, waiter, did you give me my check? I mean, maybe, I guess.
No, that absolutely was your responsibility at that point to say, we haven't paid yet. And then if somebody says, oh, don't worry, Mr. Spino took care of your, but it was absolutely your responsibility to pay. Oh, I didn't think I had to pay.
Is there a statute of limitations on the Quit Acting Stupid Award? I just want to know. I
know who I'm nominating right there.
That's already right there. I'm just saying, I thought maybe it was possible. And then when a bill didn't show up and the guy kind of whisked us on our way.
Maybe he wanted you out of the restaurant. He's like, I'll forego my tip. I just want these guys out of here.
Very possible. I never felt more stupid in my life, though. I immediately Venmo'd Anthony, and the rest.
You owe him some bucks.
No, I already paid it.
Well, now I feel bad I didn't pick up the check.
Too late for that, man. Too late for that. Oh man!
I'll get you at Anthony's next time you're there.
No, you've got me at Anthony's play. I'm good. I'm good.
Dude, I was there. I was just there on New Year's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, I knew that. I think I must have missed you because my wife and I actually went to the Chiefs game, and then I talked to Rudy, and he said you were there. So I must have been there before or after. We came there right after the game, had a quick glass of water with Vito, and then we headed out.
That was Bobby.
Yeah, no, I was there.
Yeah, we got to talk about this. This is important to me because this was actually the place that I took my wife on our first date. It was a Rockhurst homecoming. Rockhurst homecoming in the fall of 1993. No, 92. Fall of 92. I think that's right. No, fall of 91. Fall of 91. Sorry. Yeah, fall of 91. Anthony's on Grand. That was our first date for my wife and I. And I just asked her to homecoming a prompt, 5 days before. So I gave her plenty of time to prepare. But yeah, that was our first date. And Jamie was also going to homecoming that day with some folks. Yeah. And so my mom,
Monica
my
Carrillo.
mom dropped.
Yeah. Shout out to Monica.
Yeah. And so she had driven you and your dates and several of your classmates. And then they hung around to kind of see if they could get a peek of me and Anita on our first date. But yeah, we've been married since 97. So what's that? 20 Wow. This year will be 27 years.
Hey, James,
our first date was there. Anthony's on Grand.
In a row?
What are you following? I'm boring you? Marriage of 27 years is boring? Sorry, we can't all be as exciting as you guys with your
27 years.
Congrats.
Thank you.
We need to celebrate in 3 years the 30th anniversary at Anthony's.
Oh man,
there you go.
No. Oh shit, it will be. Yeah, it'll be 30 years. Man.
Congratulations.
Awesome. That's awesome. Anthony's has been we all kind of I know Rudy and I remember as kids getting food from there, and all of our siblings and cousins and everyone. It's been kind of like a more than just a restaurant. It's been kind of like an institution, where people have grown up there, and you have kids that are our age now that remember being there with their grandparents, or it just brings back a lot of memories. It's pretty special. I'm very fortunate to have my brother Vito. After I decided to burn out and move to New York, Vito stepped it up, and he's been running it with the great staff since I've been going and keeping it going, which is no easy task, as you guys know, talking to your cousin, which I would love to pick his brain and find out how he's open 5 days a week, 5 hours a day, and is successful. I think that's amazing to be able to have that work life balance, which is so hard in the restaurant business.
Yeah, he's got something going there. We'll have to. He wants to come back on as well, but I will say one of my favorite things is walking into Anthony's and seeing your brother towering over everybody with that smile, just the freaking greatest guy, shaking hands, patting backs, hugging and stuff. He's a great guy. Everybody get out to Anthony's and see Vito. But I do want to ask you real quick though, because we had mentioned this, and I don't know why I find this so interesting, but my brothers and I, we always give my dad crap. It's like, because we grew up in Northeast, a lot of Italians, everybody's parent has a fruit stand or a restaurant or this and that. And we would always give my dad crap. Like, you're freaking work at the post office. What are we going to do with that? Like, you can't pass that down. There's nothing to pass down to us. But so what were your dad's thoughts on heading out? So your dad works his whole life, gets this business up and running. It's like you said, an institution in Kansas City. And he says, Anthony, here you go. You're of age. I'm going to hand the keys over to you. And you're like, I'm going to peace out to New York.
Right.
What were his thoughts, man? How did the family in general, how did you take it when you're like, hey guys, I'm moving east?
Thanks, but no thanks.
Man, I told pretty much my mom, I told my brother, I told my cousins, I pretty much told everyone in the family that was close to me what was going on, except for my dad. I kept putting it off because I knew it was such a hard conversation.
I'd be scared of him too, man.
And my cousin, who was bartending at the restaurant at the time, Joe T, would ask me every Monday when we worked together. He'd be like, "All right, cuz, did you tell your dad?" And I'd go, "No." He goes, "What are you waiting for? I mean, it's like 6 months away. When are you going to tell him?" I'm like, "I'll tell him this week." So every Monday I'd get like, "Did you tell him yet?" "No." "Cuz, you got to tell him." So I think I don't know how it went down, but I remember us my dad and I never drink together. And I think he might have caught wind of it. And he was like, "Come on, sit down. Let's have a drink." What?
Yeah.
We're drinking our life together. But we had a drink, and that drink lasted for, I think, like 5 minutes because I was such a hard head. I pretty much had my mind, made up. I knew what I was going to do, and there was really nothing to discuss. And that kind of brings me up. I don't know with you guys, but a father-son relationship seems to be probably one of the hardest relationships, probably because we're so much alike,
Yeah.
So it's hard to communicate. But, yeah, he was disappointed, and I wasn't just moving, out north or out south or, I was moving, kind of far away. Yeah, it was a shock. And I think his dream was for him to successfully run this business and then hand it off to his sons. That was going to be the legacy. But fortunately, Vito kept it up. And you give your dad crap. Fortunately, your dad did work for the post office because we got to have him as a coach, which, as you guys know, my dad was never at any of the sporting events because he was, always at the restaurant in order to get it off the ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got an interesting story there, and I'm going to analogize it to a situation I encountered with my son too. Is you talk about just kind of having the dad having one idea in his head of what he hopes for his son. My kid was a pretty good football player. He was an okay football player in elementary school, and so I envisioned him playing 4 years at Rockhurst. And that was my plan for him. And then after his sophomore year, he came to me and he's like, "Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do this anymore." And it was crushing to me because I was, in my mind, he was going to play 4 years. He was going to play varsity for Rockhurst. Now, whether he actually played or got on the field and started, immaterial. But in my mind, he was going to play for 4 years. And so when he came to me, I was like, man, that wasn't our plan. But then you got to step back and realize, everybody's got to do their own thing and everybody's got to make their own way in this life. And you've got to make your own decisions and you've got to be able to live with them, the ramifications of those. So, Yeah, it was kind of interesting when you were telling that story. I was like, yeah, I could kind of relate, as a father and a son, just what our relationship was like, and it's great, he hasn't regretted his decision, and at least I don't know that he has, but yeah, it was just you got to let everybody live their own life and make their own decisions.
Yeah, yeah, it's you're right, and I'm happy that I made this decision. And when you guys talk about your family dinners on Sunday, that's the one thing living outside of Kansas City is that you miss. But fortunately, there's FaceTime, and that definitely brings you a lot closer to each other, being able to see each other's face and seeing the kids as they're growing up. But yeah, you guys are fortunate to continue on that tradition. That's such a blessing.
Do they pull you in for Sunday dinners?
Oh yeah, like my mom's birthday was she'd kill me if I announced her birthday, but her birthday was recently, and we all did some FaceTime, and it was like cool. I was the phone getting passed around the room.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Yeah. Happy birthday, Teresa. I forgot. I meant to get out on Facebook and I was at work. Happy birthday, Teresa. Miss you, and yeah, man.
That's awesome.
Miss your family, but and we could talk to you for hours, and but we do this thing at the end of our show. We give out a Quit Acting Stupid award. So I'm actually drawing a blank right now. I know what we were going to do.
Well, you gotta hear about this one actually. Well, other than you for walking out,
the main one. Yeah.
you for walking out on the bill.
That was an honest mistake. I didn't walk out on the bill. I paid it that night through Venmo. But did you get in trouble from your manager or from the owner that night?
No. The waiter just came down and asked me, "Is there any chance that your friend walked down on his bill?" I said, "I don't know. I'm just not worried about it." I mean,
Are you friends with that waiter still?
No, it was.
So how's he going to throw me?
First of all, he shouldn't have cleared all your stuff, so I didn't know that part of the story.
He's thrown because after we went on the tour, we came back, the table was cleared completely.
What's that? Why? Yeah, rushing you out of there.
And then he goes, you know what? He should get the Quit Acting. No,
but the real one we were going to give to the I don't know if you've heard, but we've got a new female soccer team here in Kansas City. The Current, they built that stadium. I don't know if you've had a chance to see it down there by the river.
Stadium looks great. Stadium looks really good.
The one thing they failed to consider, though, is where's everybody going to park? So the story as of the last week or so has been you now have to pay $800 for a season's worth of parking.
Wow.
And I think that actually costs more than the tickets themselves to the actual event. So how do you do all of this and not plan for parking? I mean, we are as you know, you lived here for so long. This is a place where everybody drives their cars everywhere. I mean, you've got all that parking out there at the sports complex for the Chiefs and the Royals, but they apparently built this stadium and didn't consider parking.
So here's where I'm going to step in, because a lot of people are saying, well, the Royals are going to build their stadium downtown. They're going to have the same situation. It's actually completely different because this stadium is down on the river. When I ran into you and Denise there when you guys were living in town, down on the river, that Berkeley riverfront.
Oh yeah,
that's completely different than downtown because it's kind of secluded. There's one road that goes down there, and if there's no parking down there by the stadium, then what are you going to do? So their idea was the streetcar is eventually going to go down there in like 2 years. That will help out a lot because you could park down at Union Station and drive the streetcar all the way down to the stadium and you're fine. But right now, for the next 2 years, the streetcar doesn't go that far. So it's just kind of a dead end. There's one pedestrian bridge in the River Market where I used to live that walks over, and then you still got a long walk down to that, to where the stadium is. Or they built a parking lot that doesn't have – there's more seats in the stadium than there are parking spaces. So even if people wanted to park there, there's not enough room. So the thing that gets me, though, and why I'm calling them out like they give a shit that I'm calling them out. But like I saw on the news the other day, there were people that bought season tickets and they kept contacting the team saying, hey guys, what's the parking situation? And the team would respond and say, we'll announce it here soon. Don't worry. We've got a plan for it. We've got a plan. Well, their plan was shit and they knew it. And so that's why they weren't telling anybody. And then they finally released it and everybody's going nuts. Everybody's trying to sell their tickets. It's been a nightmare. But I feel like that's kind of our Quit Acting Stupid award for the week. Like,
Got to go to the current. I mean, you were doing great all the way up until this whole parking fiasco, and now it's like, what are you doing? Who does this? I mean, yeah, you got to pay more for the parking than for the tickets themselves to the game.
That's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Is there? Go ahead.
No, it's just unbelievable.
No, I was just gonna say, is there anything in New York? Like, I'm sure there's plenty of people acting stupid there in New York. Is there an honorary New York quit acting stupid
award winner?
I don't know. Can you off the top of my head, can you give that to the teams in general, the New York teams, the basketball, baseball, football? Because since I've moved here, the last championship they had was the Giants, and that was a year or two before I moved here. I think it was like 2011. Since then,
man,
nothing.
Maybe you're the problem, bro.
I was going to say, I think we know who the bad luck is then.
Hey, but you know what? I've done you guys a good job by moving here, because since I've moved, you guys got 2 baseball champions, 3. So stay out of Kansas City, huh?
Yeah, hey, we'll let you know when you can come back.
Once Mahomes is retired, you're free to come back to Kansas City, but until then, stay where you're at.
No, I do have one. You guys it takes me a while. The last time I wore a Kansas City, I put my Kansas City jersey on for tonight.
See that, yeah.
The last time I wore a Kansas City Royals jersey in New York was Derek Jeter's last game. And he played against my wife in the other room, just said, "Oh, God." He played the Kansas City Royals, and I wore my Kansas City Royal jersey of that game. And I thought, like all my life, going to Yankees-Royals games, that there would be – I mean, you guys know going to Royals-Yankees, it's like 50, 60, 40 back in the day at least.
Yeah.
I was the only person in the stadium.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy with his Royals
last home game. They were. It was like a big. So I win the award for that. But
Jeter's last game.
Doesn't he know Jeter's retiring? What's his name doing?
Jeter.
Well, she's hollering in the bedroom right now.
Real quick on that, my son. We went to the 2014 World Series Game 2. Because I'd been trying to get to the series before that, but Royals kept sweeping. And so we never got, my tickets were no good. So I was like, I'm going to game 2 of the World Series. So I can guarantee I'm going to, be there. So I pick up my son after school. I'm like, hey, I'm driving while I'm trying to buy these tickets online. I'm on the highway on I-70. I'm like, we got him. I picked him up and we're going. And we just had time to go change our clothes, do homework real quick and get to the game. And wouldn't you know it, he has all these Royals, shirts or whatever. He wears a Philadelphia Phillies bright red shirt and think about how many blue shirts you're seeing it was funny. The next day, the Kansas City Star did like a panoramic, a photo or something. So you could click on it and you could find yourself, you could zoom in on it. I was like, I'm going to see look up in my section. You can see this red dot of him. It's Philadelphia. Oh my God, I was so embarrassed. But yeah,
your son used to dance to the beat of a different drummer, though. So yeah.
Hey, Quentin, quit acting stupid. Quit acting stupid, Quentin.
We give it to Spino for wearing a Royals jersey on Jeter's last game, and we're gonna give it to Quentin for wearing a Phillies jersey to the Royals World Series.
Well,
yeah,
guys,
it was fun.
And I
great seeing you guys. You guys look great.
I appreciate you doing this for us. And anytime you want to come on, just literally catching up. This is great. And
it's awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing the next few guests you guys are going to have. Maybe we'll get a guest appearance from your mom and dad or something. I haven't seen them forever.
Maybe we might get a word or two out of my dad. I don't know. We'll see.
They've slowed down, so it would be less them and more us. Trying to.
Well, send them my love. They were a really special time for all of us. We were really fortunate. The more you guys talk and thinking about what we got to grow up around, the friends and families, it was a really special time. So thankful to be around all you guys. So
Northeast in the 80s was special. And anybody that grew up around that time and went to Holy Cross or St. John's, even down there on the avenue. I mean, we all kind of knew each other and kind of looked out for each other. And it was fun. But I know they'll appreciate that because they are our parents do listen every week. They'll critique us, and so yeah, they'll definitely hear your comments. So we appreciate that. We appreciate you joining us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and same to Teresa and Butch. I'm sure they're part of our list. I'm sure they're subscribers and stuff like that. So Teresa, happy birthday, and we miss you. And yeah, man. Something else I was gonna say. Yeah, we didn't even get a chance to talk about like when I'd spend the night and we just like dunk on your Jordan Jammer in the basement. Like dude, those were solid nights, man. Just having dunk contests. Good times, but we'll do that another time. So
see, lots of stories. I mean, like you said, we could do another hour easily. So,
absolutely. But who's going to take us out? Should we make Anthony take us out this week?
Yeah.
Make our guest do it. Does he even know?
Well, he's watching every episode. He claims.
We won't put that pressure on him.
Bobby,
I'll
go
do it. I'll do it. All right. So for our guest, Chef Anthony Spino, and for my brothers, Jamie and Rudy, we just have to say until the next time, just quit acting stupid.